Hey everyone, it looks like we got our very first leaked footage from Avengers Doomsday, and boy, does it look incredible. Now, of course, there's still a chance that this leaked action sequence is not real, but the interesting thing is this clip actually matches a lot of the descriptions we've been hearing about the film for a while now, and that definitely makes this leak feel a lot more believable. The reason most of these leaks usually look like they were recorded on a potato camera is to ensure the safety of the leaker. When studios are working with pre-VFX footage or early digital clips, there are usually hidden watermarks or key marks on the screen. So if that footage ever gets leaked, Marvel can figure out exactly who leaked it, which device it came from, and sometimes even where it was played. But when someone lowers the quality this much, compresses the video, zooms in, or records it from a weird angle, it becomes much harder to track the source. And that's exactly why all these Spider-Man and Avengers Doomsday leaks look so blurry and low quality. I've watched this leaked footage at 0.05 speed and found everything there is to know about it. So let's get straight to the breakdown. The leaked footage opens with a close-up shot of what looks like Doctor Doom's armored feet while his green cloak is hanging in the background. As soon as he steps, this green energy just bursts into the air. Then the camera slowly moves up and focuses on Doctor Doom's mask. Notice the eye holes on his mask look way bigger than how they usually look in the comics. Remember, this footage is from when the visual effects were still unfinished. So either Marvel will make the eye holes smaller in the final cut, or the Russos have deliberately kept them this big so that the audience can actually feel Robert Downey Jr. underneath the mask. I mean, come on. If you're bringing RDJ back as Doctor Doom, you don't want the audience thinking it's just some stunt guy in the suit while RDJ only does the voiceover. You want them to sense him underneath that mask. Then we see more of this green energy surrounding a giant hand-like structure. This is probably the hand of a sentinel. In the very next shot, we see Thor offering his hand to Steve Rogers, helping him get back on his feet. Both of them summon their weapons almost exactly like they did in Endgame. Thor summons Stormbreaker and Steve summons Mjolnir. Notice Chris Evans has long hair and he's wearing a black t-shirt which matches that previous leak we saw of his new appearance. But the weird thing is Thor and Steve summoned their weapons way too casually. There's almost no urgency in their body language. If they're fighting Doctor Doom, shouldn't there be some kind of panic or at least uneasiness? Next, we finally get a better look at Doctor Doom's full body armor as he starts standing up. As he rises, a giant sentinel starts waking up behind him with green light appearing in its eyes, which pretty much confirms Doctor Doom is controlling the sentinels. We can see the sentinel's hand grabbing the ground, and these things are so massive that even their smallest movements shake everything. Then multiple other sentinels start waking up from their kneeling positions. The way they're positioned, it looks like they were already shut down or defeated earlier, but Doom reactivates them through his magic. This is where we see Florence Pugh's Yelena Belova. She looks completely shocked by whatever she's seeing. Judging by her reaction, it feels like she had no idea Doctor Doom could control the sentinels. That probably means, up until this moment, Doom was pretending to be on the good side. Once he reveals his true colors, that's when Yelena reacts like this. Then we see Shang-Chi holding his 10 rings and Nightcrawler with white hair standing back to back with him. Nightcrawler turns around and starts looking up as the Sentinels rise. We get a closer look at Channing Tatum's Gambit in a defensive position with Nightcrawler behind him. Then there's this shot of Doctor Doom from the back, standing right in the middle of the screen. With that bright white background, it looks like he's levitating in the air, conjuring his spells to control the Sentinels. We see Steve Rogers looking up at him, and Doctor Doom turns toward the camera, probably facing Steve. And then we get the big Avengers Assemble style team-up moment. It's very similar to the first Avengers movie. The camera moves in a circular motion, showing all the heroes coming together. This is where we get the full superhero lineup, all standing together and preparing to fight the Sentinels. Cyclops fires his optic blast, you can tell from the red beam, and at the same time, the Sentinels lift up their hands as their repulsors begin glowing with yellow energy. That's basically everything we see in this leaked footage. It goes without saying, this is not one continuous sequence. The only part that feels like one proper scene is that 360-degree Avengers Assemble moment. Everything else feels like bits and pieces from different sequences edited together in this unfinished pre-VFX cut. For example, we see Thor helping Steve get back on his feet, but later both of them enter the scene again with the rest of the heroes. Same thing with Yelena. First she's completely dumbfounded, then later she's already standing with the team. So yeah, major scenes are clearly missing in between. But based on how Cyclops is preparing to unleash his optic blast, and how the Sentinels are charging up their repulsors, I don't think this fight's going to end well for the heroes. In the official X-Men teaser, we already saw Cyclops looking absolutely devastated before unleashing his optic blast with full force. So whatever happens here, there's a strong chance it leads to at least one major death. Judging by the way all these heroes are landing next to each other and fighting together, I think this scene takes place somewhere in the second or third act. By this point, the heroes probably already know each other, the backstory has been explained, and this is most likely the moment they finally realize Victor Von Doom was never a hero. He was just pretending to be one. I do want to appreciate the fact that they made the eye holes of Doom's mask bigger than usual. Because again, this is Robert Downey Jr. we're talking about. If the audience can constantly sense RDJ under that mask, it adds genuine emotional and nostalgic weight to the film. Plus, having him actually wear the mask and physically act out the scenes will make his Doctor Doom feel way more authentic. Now, as for where this battle is taking place, my theory is this is happening in the X-Men universe, Earth 838 or whatever the proper designation is. But that's a whole other discussion for another video. Comment below your honest thoughts on this leaked footage from Doomsday. Are you impressed or did you expect more? I will say though, the visuals are still unfinished, so don't worry if it looks a bit shaky. Personally, I'm super excited. I think the day we get our first proper official look at RDJ's face underneath the Doctor Doom mask is the day the internet completely breaks. Till then, I'll see you lads in the next one.